Hey, Steven here from LeadJetty.com. In this video, we're going to take a look at how to create segments in ConvertKit. This is the second part of our series on segmentation with ConvertKit, and since it's just part two, keep in mind this is going to be pretty simple. We're going to be putting out a lot of videos, getting really deep into the weeds as we build this up, but for now we're going to keep things pretty straightforward. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump in. So as I said in the previous video, this is a brand new account. We haven't even connected it to anything yet. So we have no subscribers in here or anything like that. But I did set up a form in the last video. So I'm going to go ahead and set up a segment based on that form so that you know how that works. So we'll click this create a segment over here on the right, and that's going to pull down this pop-up. And I'm going to create a segment here called Interested in ConvertKit. Or potentially just, I think that's nice like that, I think. So we'll leave that. And then we have this option to say matching any of the following, and then we get to add filters. So this is actually really cool, and you can get very complicated with this. So for now, let's just start kind of setting up a basic thing, and then we'll talk about how we might expand on that in the future a little bit. But as I said, this one is supposed to be really simple, so we're just going to keep it simple. So when we click the add filter, we have this option for subscribe to, and if we click that drop down, we get a whole bunch of stuff. So we have like all subscribers, which is just a segment of everybody, I guess. We have people who are subscribed to things, which we'll look at in a second. People who are within other segments, so if you want to make segments of segments. Cold subscribers, so that's people who ConvertKit basically is saying are cold. Maybe they haven't opened something in a while or whatever. I'm actually not sure what their algorithm for that is. You have some location-based stuff, people who subscribe within a certain time frame, so on and so forth. So for now, we'll leave it with subscribe to. I think that's kind of the standard. That's why they default to that. And then we have a select option here where we can say forms, sequences, tags, or products. So the way that I set my form up was intentional. So I named my form Interest ConvertKit. And so what this lets me do is say I can create a quick segment here, interested in ConvertKit, and the form is Interest ConvertKit. So anytime I write a post or create some content about ConvertKit, which is something we're doing a lot right now, and we're going to be putting out some other things about other systems like ActiveCampaign and HubSpot in the near future, because our LeadJetty system integrates with all these things, so we want to create a bunch of helpful content about it. So whenever I create something about ConvertKit, I want the form on that page to capture people who are interested in ConvertKit, because the logic is if you're reading that page, you must be interested. So I'm going to go ahead and add this filter. So I could add another filter here, and I'm not going to because we don't really have enough data set up or anything set up to do it. But that's where this any or all option comes in, or none for that matter. So let's say that you had two filters here. If you pick all, it's going to restrict this set here to people who are in both things. If you pick none, it's basically going to do the inverse and say, I want to eliminate these people from this segment. So that's pretty powerful. And then another thing we can do is add filter groups down here. So you can see that if you were to just start stacking things up, you can actually get very complicated with what you have for your segment. Now we're going to do a much more in-depth segmentation or segment-specific video once we start getting people coming into our email list and we have some other tags and segments and so on and so forth. But for now, we're just going to leave this just like this and save it. So with that, you can see now under segments, we have interested in ConvertKit over here. And what we can really use this for is to actually send out targeted broadcasts. I mean, that's really the main feature of segments. So if we come over here to broadcasts, and I obviously don't have any subscribers, so I can't really do much. But if I click new broadcast here, one of the things I can do is say who's going to receive this. And again, you have the any, all, none kind of thing. But I can click this all subscribers and say subscribe to, wait a second, I want to say within segment, excuse me. And then I have this interested in ConvertKit segment. And so now if I had subscribers who were interested in ConvertKit and I went on and continued with this process, I could just email those people. So we'll get into that more later. I mean, ConvertKit's very flexible. It does a lot of things. So you can see that, here we can also do like subscribe to forums and tags and so on and so forth here. So really, ConvertKit gives you a lot of different ways to do things. This segment strategy is really one that's pretty straightforward, but it's pretty useful if you have people who are interested in different topics and you create forms where they automatically go into a particular bucket or segment from the beginning. It just makes it easier for you to send out the most relevant content to those people later. So with all of that said, in the next video we're going to look at how to create tags and set up automations.